days after leaving Flotsam. Upper Aedirn into Pontar Valley. Chapter 2.
3,000 men, burnt to ashes in minutes.
I remember the stillness when the news reached Vengerberg, the palace, the streets, the houses, the entire capital cloaked in silence.
The cries were here, every last man. I was somewhere beyond that hill, in the middle of the massacre.
What is your intention, Saskia?
I intend to stop Aedirn from being sold.
We cannot afford a war with Henselt. We must parley.
Leave issues of war to me, Prince.
Is that her?
Concentrate on King Henselt. Yarpen Zigrin claims he's short-tempered. Provoke him to strike, and we'll negotiate once the battle's won.
She
I
invoiced
still cannot fathom why the nobles betrayed us.
This'll be interesting.
Spit on the nobles, Prince. They've meant nothing since the day my peasant force scattered them on the Dyfni.
By the good deity Creve, my lord. The girl is a demon incarnate.
Firstly, the girl has a name. Secondly, she's the best commander I have. All others have betrayed me.
But she's a monster. Creve spoke to me in a dream. I saw a snake-like she-demon devour your heritage.
Silence, Olcan. We near the meeting place.
Now here's an interesting turn in the storytelling. We are here in the boots of someone called Stennis. Following Saskia, who Iorveth claimed would be the best head to wear the crown. Dragonslayer. Prince Stennis. After King Demavend's death, Prince Stennis became heir to the Aedirnian Throne, at least in name. However, pride and chilly disposition rarely win the love of one's subjects, and that was very much Stennis' problem. His youth did not strengthen his claim either, though no one openly questioned the prince's claim to the crown. Stennis did not have enough support to actually have it placed upon his head. Given this situation, sitting out important events would have been political suicide. The war for the Pontar Valley gave him the ideal chance to bolster his position by demonstrating what a good ruler he would make. History has shown time and time again that when a realm is in chaos, deeds rather than words grant one legitimacy in the eyes of one's subjects. Stennis greatly desired to prove himself the equal or superior of the Virgin of Aedirn. He had strong support from the nobility, yet the common folk had few reasons to sympathize with him. And speaking of Saskia, nothing drives a revolt forward like the right leader, especially one who is a young girl known for performing miraculous feats of valor on the battlefield. From Joan of Arc coast to the infamous Falca, history is full of women who led fanatically devoted hosts to victory. Interestingly, all those heroines were not only charismatic but also extremely beautiful. The squint-eyed, gap-toothed and pock-marked generally have trouble rousing the masses. Saskia, whom men would follow into fire, was no exception. She was a smooth-skinned lass with blonde hair, dark brows and large eyes and shapely lips. Her full breasts perfectly complemented her rounded hips. In other words, she was the ideal icon for rebellion. For, dear reader, if a man in battle receives appropriate motivation in the form of a lovely female arse, he is likely to achieve miracles in its wake. When there is no such arse to lead the way, the freedom fighter's thoughts quickly turn to harvest time, his own woman, and a half pint of booze at the inn. News had already reached us. of the heroic Saskia, the woman who held Kaedwen's armies at bay. At the time, however, it all seemed like little more than exaggerated rumors. As with any true hero, there were many incredible tales about Saskia. Some claimed she was invulnerable to fire and had thus survived that terrible battle when Sabrina had rained the very flames of hell down upon the combatants. The girl was also famous for killing a dragon. One would be hard-pressed to find better material for a local hero. Well, here let's take a look at the other characters that we are very likely to run into when we get back to Geralt's boots at least. This was hardly the first time Geralt and I encountered Philip Eilhart, Jewel of the Gods at Tretogor and once trusted sorceress of King Vizimir II. Philippa was one of the most talented mages of those times. Only a handful ever mastered the art of polymorphy. Her intellect and the influence she held at the Redanian court were not to be underestimated. Proud, independent and extremely beautiful, as graceful in a fanciful yet elegant dress as in man's travelling outfit, she was beyond any doubt one of the most attractive women I have ever known. Yet I would not count Philippa among the most pleasant of females, despite her indisputable, though chilly charm. Her gaze alone was enough to make the most confident men shudder, and the mere thought of spending a night with her would make their flesh creep. And again, a reminder that Dandelion is the one who's writing this journal, and we just have access to it here. Yes, indeed, I don't know these Serit and Aukes. Perhaps I will need to take a look at them later. Let's look what the journal says about Sheila de Tanseville. I know from experience that magicians are not above lusting for power. Among sorceresses alone there are many whose ambition leads them pull strings, moving kings and other mighty forces of this world. To command the elements in spectacular fashion, summon genies, bend fate, dictate royal proclamations, or at least to force others to eat chicken with cutlery. That is why magicians such as Sheila de Tanseville, known as the Koviri Loner, stood apart from the others. Lady Sheila was not known to interfere in politics, at least not visibly, instead dedicating her days to research. Strict, calm and collected, unlike other sorceresses, she did not display her feminine charms. Nor did she flirt with men, jiggling her posterior before them at every occasion. Though, and I must remain true to myself here, the world would undeniably be a much poorer place without typical sorceresses. The reason for Sheila de Tanseville's presence in a backwater town like Flotsam was initially a mystery, yet it quickly became clear that she had come there because of the Keiran, a river monster, for sorcerers gladly used the organs of exotic creatures as ingredients for magical preparation, and Sheila was no exception. Sheila's presence also turned out to be a lucrative opportunity for Zoltan, however odd that might sound. The dwarf got gems for her magical apparatus. One has to admit that Sheila's help proved to be useful. The sorcerers did not fear the monster and bravely fought, aiding the Witcher with her powers. It appears Sheila had very specific plans concerning the King Henselt of Kaedwen and his attempts to father an heir. From what we've been able to tell, the meddling of Sheila and other sorcerers in the world of politics was further reaching than anyone had imagined. Will we meet Sheila again? I don't know. In one way I look forward to it if we do. Since we are here in the journal, let's finally take a look at Iorveth, as we have taken the Iorveth's path at the crossroads. They say all elves are beautiful, that they are born thus. In Iorveth's case, someone set out to change this, marking his face with an ugly scar that the elf partially hid beneath a crimson headscarf. Iorveth was a living legend, the elusive leader of a Scoia'tael unit whose members gave no thought to laying down their arms and continued their war against humans. Stories of his deeds, of his deep hatred of Dwan, painted him as more akin to a vengeful ghost than to an individual made of blood, bone and flesh. Certain sources claimed that Iorveth was the Kingslayer's ally and thus involved in recent events, yet Geralt's first meeting with the elf brought few answers and ended with Scoia'tael archers laying down a deadly barrage. Indeed, it seemed at the time that the elf would only ever answer the Witcher with arrows. In the eyes of some people, like Loredo or Roche, Iorveth was a common criminal, his hands stained by the bloods of innocents. Indeed, the list of those he had cut down in his fight for freedom could easily rival the number of ballads, romances and ditties in my repertoire. The elf was certainly a dangerous individual. He was not, however, a bloodthirsty monster. Ever cautious and aware of the game he was playing, he jumped at the chance of testing Letho's loyalty, becoming Geralt's ally, at least temporarily. Fighting side by side certainly helps dispel distrust. The Witcher kept his word, which Iorveth appreciated, and the path to further cooperation stood open. The Scoia'tael leader had a vision, and his pursuit of it put him in altogether different light. Grand as it was, the plan could either be considered incredibly ambitious or purely insane. Whatever the case, he needed allies, though if he found none he was more than prepared to forge ahead alone. Iorveth was loyal towards those who placed their trust in him, and he returned their trust. This was undeniable. His respect for Geralt grew after they freed the prisoners, and the elf would not hesitate to repay the debt he had incurred. But for now, let's get back to Prince Stennis' boots and follow Saskia, the Virgin of Aedirn, dragonslayer. Prelude to War, Aedirn.
The Aedirnian rebel.
She looks right battle-hardened, she does.
Who's the one in the plate armor?
Maybe I should look at the journal once more and look at this. Prelude to War, Aedirn. While the good people of Temeria were busy massacring non-humans and disputing who would ascend to their recently vacated throne, the Aedirnians busied themselves more and less with the same, while admittedly putting more effort into the latter. After Demavend's demise, pretenders to the crown sprang up like mushrooms. Apart from one powerful noble family, first fiddle in this volatile orchestra belonged jointly to Stennis, Demavend's son, and Saskia, a rebel leading a peasant insurrection. It was no accident that both arrived in the town of Vergen at the same time. Despite wildly different aims, they shared a goal: to repel Henselt's invading army. This story begins with both heading to parley with the Kaedweni ruler. Okay. So we are close to Vergen. And I assume this is where we'll also as Geralt gets back and
we shall sign everything, Your Majesty.
meet
As you.
We have guests.
Saskia.
Welcome, Stennis, son of Demavend. I invite you to join.
Greetings, Henselt. You seem at home in Aedirn. You are here, yet I do not recall inviting you.
Felot did so in your stead. I'm here at his behest. I've broken no truces or treaties yet.
Oh, is that so? Mr. Brogan, please escort Count Felot to a secluded spot and remove his troublesome head.
Don't you dare, boy. You're no king. Your father.
My father is dead. The folk still mourn him while you betray his good name and his country.
Your Majesty, I must request your protection. This young man has lost his mind.
Take him away.
Your Majesty, what of our agreement?
I need you no longer ferret now Stennis is here.
Anyone else wish to object? Wonderful. To the matter at hand, then.
Well said. I will show you my hand. I've over 200 armed men encamped nearby, enough to hold the ford for several hours. Another 5,000 battle-hungry lads await on the other bank. What say you to that?
As we were closing by, I'm almost certain that Sheila was standing there.
In attacking Aedirn, you would break the provisions of the Peace of Sintra. All the northern kingdoms will be obliged to support me.
None will stand with you.
Radovid of Redania, the Dukes of the South.
You dream, boy. They're not to be counted on. And the treaty, I piss on it as do they. You are alone.
Not entirely.
I'll stay out of this, Saskia.
Well, well, she has a voice. Saskia the dragonslayer. You're much prettier than they claim. You'll need to throw in the last two. Peasants should work the fields, not rebel and burn down the estates of their masters. It's to your advantage to give her up.
I'll not allow it. This land is under my protection. If no one else has the courage to stand up to you, I will. Listen well, King. You have 1 hour to quit Upper Aedirn with your forces. If you fail to do so, it's war. If but one Kaedweni soldier remains on this land 1 minute past the deadline, it's war. You will instruct your heralds to proclaim around and about that you apologize to the people of Aedirn for this shameful incursion. Otherwise, it's war.
You've got balls, woman. My soldiers would call me a coward. Or a madman. I am Henselt of Ad Carreg. I'll not run from a woman, even a dragonslayer. That apart, you're a pretty fetching lass. I want this land. I want its gold. And I want you, dragonslayer. Grab them!
Wait a minute, that is Sheila, isn't she?
For the king! For Kaedweni!
Oh, camera! What?
Stop! Stop in the name of Kriv, Freyr and Militale!
Hey! By the milk of Mother Creatrix's tits, Geralt of Rivia! And of the best company to boot.
Yarpen Zigrin!
It's been years, you old prick. It's great to see you in good health. Geralt, staring as if you've seen a ghost. Muster up a hug for an old friend.
Geralt's head's not exactly on straight.
Ha! Meaning you truly did in Foltest. Fine by me. Foltest was a ploughing niggard and a niggardly plougher. You did right, Geralt.
Not the point. Geralt's lost his memory.
And I didn't kill Foltest.
Right. What's the difference? Someone did. But we've bigger problems now.
Where's Saskia?
Oh, aye. Why is this butcher here?
I've come with 100 archers, the best in the world. We're here to aid your cause.
Well, you'll need to wait. Saskia and Prince Stennis went off to parley with Henselt. Me and the boys are waiting in case something goes wrong. The sun's gone dark. Call the sorceress!
Come, Geralt.